Buongiorno and welcome to Siena. Siena is a part of Italy that I have never been to until today, which is why I'm incredibly excited because it's always been on my bucket list. And as you guys know, I'm a huge history geek, so there is so much of that to see here. I'll be doing a walking tour with you today. I'll be showing you everything there is to see and do in central Siena, as well as giving you guys my first impressions of the place. So let's do this. For any first-timer in Siena, I highly recommend starting in Piazza del Campo, which is where I am right now. Piazza del Campo is basically the central square here. It used to be the central square back in the day in the 13th, 14th century when it was first built, and remains the central square of historical Siena up until today. Historical Siena is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is why you see a lot of very well-preserved buildings here. And the square is divided into 9 sections and radiates out into 11 tiny little streets, which we're gonna walk down later on. This beautiful majestic building behind me with a tower is the Palazzo Pubblico, and the tower is actually 102 meters tall, and when it was first built it was instructed to be the same height as the cathedral to showcase that the church and the state had equal power in Siena, which I thought was a pretty cool fun fact. Right, enough history for now. We talked about the Palazzo Pubblico, which is what I'm gonna show you guys now. Let's go. Tickets to the Palazzo Pubblico, only €6, so not bad at all. What I'm not very sure about though is these modern, weird, slightly creepy artworks they put into the entrance of Palazzo Pubblico, which is actually a really beautiful historical building. Look at that. Anyway, not really my style, but what I am excited about is seeing the Palazzo Pubblico, which was built in the 14th century, and it's covered in very valuable frescoes at the time.
Until the 14th century, Siena was one of the area's banking capitals, making it very wealthy and powerful, which I've noticed is clearly reflected on the interiors of any significant building you'll visit here.
The Palazzo Pubblico was originally built as a town hall. This is a town hall, you guys. How crazy is that? These days, our preconception of a town hall is somewhere boring, not that interesting, not somewhere where we'd like to go visit. But in Italy, you see everything is grand, and definitely was grand back in the 13th, 14th century when this was built. So everything that you see here, all the buildings that you will go inside are gonna be absolutely jaw-droppingly gorgeous, definitely including this one. From the top of the Palazzo Pubblico, you can get a really stunning view of the old town. Look at that. Okay, I think that we're done here. Now we should go right there, and we should walk along the little cobbled street and stop at the Duomo, which I've been really looking forward to seeing. It looks absolutely divine. When I mentioned tiny cobbled streets, this is kind of what I meant. Some of them are bigger, with shops, bars, cafes, restaurants, and some of them are literally for 2 people and not more. That's how narrow they are. I can see why this would be a UNESCO World Heritage Site and why the locals work hard to keep everything so well preserved.
As I wandered around the maze of medieval streets, I noticed not only tourists from all over the world, but also that traffic is restricted, making it a perfect destination for those who like to get around by foot, like I do. I made a small detour at the famous Grand Hotel in Siena for a local dish of pici pasta, and also to watch one of the parades in anticipation of the annual Palio horse race.
Okay, it looks like we have reached the Duomo. I can see it in front of me, and it is just as stunning as what I saw in the pictures, if not more. Take a look. Look at that, stunning from every angle. I think Italy excels in the most extravagant cathedrals, which is another reason why I've been really looking forward to seeing this one. The Duomos and the cathedrals that stuck out to me the most during my travels in Italy were definitely, I think, the one in Como, the one in Florence, the one in Milan, and also the one in Amalfi. So those are all vlogs that I'm gonna link in the description below for you guys to check out. Oh my gosh. Can you believe that this was built roughly 700 years ago? And they definitely did not have the same kind of machinery and the same kind of tools we do today. But nevertheless, oh my gosh, you have to see the front. This is absolutely insane. You know what? Italian architecture, every time I look at it and every time I have the opportunity to admire it, I'm just blown away, and I really wish I could go back in time many centuries just to see the process, just to see how they built it. Wow, 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 wow. I could stand here for hours just looking at that, but I think it's time for me to show you what lays on the inside. One of my personal favorite things about these Italian cathedrals is the squares that always surround them. If you think about it, back in the day, this was the main place of worship and the main place of gathering for people. And even today, there's a lot of tourists, there's a lot of stands with food, with drinks. Over there, you can even see some artworks, but where I'm taking you now is a museum with a really interesting story that's right in this building here, so definitely not a long walk. Stick around, because I think this is going to be really cool. With a €9 ticket, you can see all of this. I really enjoy reading about the history of this place. This is called Museo della Scala, and it used to be a hospital back in the day, funded by the wealthiest families and the wealthiest individuals of Siena. Now, why this hospital is so famous is because of their progressive approach to medicine, as well as anything concerning the education of treating patients. Look at that. So they also did a lot of philanthropy work, a lot of pro bono stuff, and that's why they were famous back in the day, and that's why it still remains famous today. Wow. I just went to the lower ground floor and I'm all alone in this very cold area of worship. I'm not going to call it a church because it's a part of the building. I'm not going to lie, it feels really creepy. Ooh, I don't like the vibe this is giving me. You know how sometimes you walk into churches, into cathedrals, and you just get this beautiful feeling of lightness, of positivity, of hope, of just joy. This is not one of them. Wow, okay. I'm gonna get out of here. I mean, look at this, there's even a skull here. No, that's absolutely crazy. I can always feel vibes and energies in churches, cathedrals, just areas of worship. That I didn't like very much. Ooh, give me the creeps. Give me the heebie-jeebies. So I'm gonna go back up to daylight and to less creepy areas of this building, and hopefully I'll enjoy that more. I was told there's a lot of really beautiful frescoes here, so maybe that can be my focus for this particular attraction in Siena. Okay, see, the frescoes were definitely a much better experience than that underground room, which I will definitely not go back to. Anyway, that is all for today, you guys. That is all of the things in central historical Siena that you can easily see in a day. It is all walking distance, it is all charming, it is all beautiful, grand, Italian, you name it. You've seen it all in this vlog. Obviously there are other areas of Siena, but you'll need a car for that. If you are traveling from Florence, it is only about an hour and a half by train or an hour by car to Siena, and from Rome it is about 2 to 2.5 hours. So this is easily doable in a weekend, in a day. You will have an amazing time exploring Siena, I'm sure, and I would like you to leave a comment below telling me what your personal favorite part of today's tour was. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Keep smiling, and I'll see you next time.